Hello and welcome to the Philippines. In this video, we're going to be discussing quite a number of different Philippine visa issues, problems that foreigners end up seeing, and some of the solutions. Going to be interviewing JR at JRC Visa Consultancy and Immigration Services. I've done a number of interviews with him. He's got offices. I think 6 or 7 different offices: Angeles, Manila area, Cebu, Dumaguete, Moalboal, over on Bohol, Panglao Island, and Davao City. Got one down there, so a number of places, and he can help you whether you're get started, whether you're in your own country or you're already in the Philippines. Help you chart the course for successful visa applications. And as I've said before, I can, and many of you can do many things yourself, but we choose to hire professionals to do the job. Here's the case also. They know the language, they know the system and the people, they know what is accepted. Oftentimes, they can often expedite things. They can get things done maybe in less than a day, what might take you a week or longer to do, which documents and how to fill them out properly. This is a little longer interview, so we're going to cover a lot of information. Stay with us if you can to the end. Hello, we're here today at JRC Visa Consultancy and Immigration Services, and we're going to discuss a number of issues having to do with Philippine immigration. So I'm going to kind of turn it over to JR, and we've got a list of things that will interest many of you. So JR, welcome.
Hi, Rod. It's been a while. It's good to see you around. And thank you for having us again in your channel. And we do appreciate giving us a chance and opportunity to be here. So yeah, as what Rod has mentioned regarding some of probably a general information about the Philippine visa and immigration setup, I think we can actually start with the overstaying stuff. So forming part, if you have overstayed for more than 3 years in the country or 36 months for the non-visa required, or for 24 months or 2 years for the visa required national, there are two circumstances that might be on the picture. Number one is you are ordered to leave the country, or you will be required to secure an appropriate visa, probably between 121 days. Or on the average, the Bureau of Immigration will give you 120 days to secure an appropriate visa. Now, one thing that you need to understand is for the order to leave setup, the Bureau of Immigration is actually having some procedures on it. So because we have encountered one of our clients that actually asked, JR, why is it that I don't have my passport yet? Now, if you if the outcome of your motion for reconsideration, because the Bureau of Immigration have not find legal merit for you to be approved for that one, the order to leave order will be coming into play. Now, after you settle your arrears or penalties or whatever requirements or financial requirements that the Bureau of Immigration will require you to settle, the Bureau of Immigration will actually retain your passport. And you can only get your passport upon your departure. The departure is more likely in NAIA, uh, in Metro Manila. So it will be also important to know that you're only given a certain period of time. One of the major requirement is before you settle your account or your penalties or the fees that you need to settle in the Bureau of Immigration, you need to have the NBA clearance. Checking if there will be a pending case against you, or checking the regulatory check before you can actually fly out the country. Apart from the exit clearance that you need to have before you fly to NAIA for you to exit the country. So that is one of the things that I think it will be a good information for your subscribers, Rod, to take into a picture, because it came up to my attention that there are still people who are actually filing the motion for reconsideration for the reason of being overstayed in the country. In which by COVID time, it would be understandable, but I was quite surprised that there is still number of people who are actually um, doing or filing or processing the motion for reconsideration, not only for foreign national but also for former Filipinos. Probably you might have a few of your subscribers or a number of your subscribers that are former Filipino, because they have the notion upon entry of the country, since they are categorized as former Filipino and they present a foreign passport, they are still Filipino, in which, in the eyes of the Bureau of Immigration, they are categorized as a foreigner or an alien coming into the country, but on a special category of being a former Filipino. That is why they are given the privilege of the balikbayan visa. So those things, those may be simple, but it will actually cost you a lot, cost financially, inconvenience and stress. So I think that that particular information would be helpful, and should you actually need some assistance to that, our team would be willingly to help you on that matter. Now, also in the other thing, um, there's also an avenue that I would like to talk about as of this time. As you may know, I've been a member of several Facebook groups of foreigners, and I have noticed that there are a number of foreigners right now, like talking about scams and so on and so forth. I think one of the red flag that you should always take a look at, if someone actually or a person represented themselves as a part or a member of that particular organization, and they give you, and when you are actually convinced to engage with that person, and you have decided already, okay, I'm gonna obtain, I'm gonna engage with his or her services, and then upon payment, probably they will require you to deposit it on their personal bank account instead of the company's. Then that might be a red flag, because those if they are actually representing a certain company, they should have been providing you with the company bank details for you to send off your money or payment, so that they can actually process it. Now, if you encounter that situation, think twice, because that might be an initial red flag for you as a foreigner. And also, I would like to give emphasis for our number of offices that is also located in the Philippines. We have already in Metro Manila area. We have in Parañaque. We have also in Angeles. We have three down in Visayas area, which is our main office is in the Queen City of South Cebu, Cebu City to be specific. We have Bohol. We have Moalboal, down South Cebu Island. That is where the sardines run is, and not that far in Oslo Whale Shark. And also we have an office in Dumaguete, and might as well all the way down south to the third major island in the Philippines, which is Mindanao. We are actually also located the in Davao City. Now, how does it give you value? So right now we're gearing towards an online. However, in the Philippines, we are still a developing country. So it's, if you're gonna compare it from your country of origin, let's just say for example in the US, Amazon is well known that if you order something, it will be at your doorstep. Here in the Philippines, we are not yet on that level, and it's probably not that appropriate for you to compare an apple and a mango to be similar. Maybe they will be a fruit, but at the end of the day, it's not comparable as of the moment. So the logic of the story is, we are actually investing on those offices to give you an assurance to our clients, and also to our former to our clients, and also to our future clients per se, that we are actually we are doing our best to really give you an assurance that we are there to help you out. And mind you, those offices are one of our investments, so that you would see that we are actually legit, apart from our accreditations, which are actually renewed every year, such as we have our accreditations with the Bureau of Immigration, and also our accreditations with the Retirement Office, our accreditations with the labor departments, and our permits for us to officially operate in this particular local government units where our offices is located. Feel free so that we can actually take a look at options for us to resolve your issues. I mean, if you have issues, it will not be the end of the line. Uh, by by this profession, by this profession also, or this firm which I actually established few years back, I have learned a lot, and it's not easy also to really do our best and actually be the mediator of two different cultures along the way, like from the US and the Philippines, and we're actually representing you to the different government offices here in the Philippines. It's not that easy. So we may not be able to please everybody, but the general norm is of the team is to really give our best foot forward to be able to help you out on your visa and immigration needs in the best way possible that we can. So if you have some questions along the way, if you will have some verification that you will escalate to the managers of the respective team members, please please do so, and we'll be looking forward to hear that out and resolving it, because I have met a lot of foreigners already, especially coming to coming here and there and really screwed up. Okay, it's not the end of the line. What are your options? These are your options from this side, and so on and so forth. And I think one of these days I'll be requesting also Rod to feature those people to be on his channel to give you also a proof of what we actually say, because the challenge is there will be a lot of people doing content, but the next question is how credible is the information that you have. So apart from that, for the offices that we have, I'll also be sharing to you a little bit of information in terms of filing your visa. So the Philippines is more or less more than 7,107 islands. I hope I'm getting it correct. But either high tide or low tide, but that's the general number probably. So when you go to the Philippines, I got a good talk with a foreigner during one of our meet and greet in here in the office. That there's a question is where should be a first area to start when you are in the Philippines? Then I suggested them, okay, number one, there's a suggestion from one of our colleagues, a foreigner, and he answered that I think for you to start living in the Philippines, before you actually decide where to live, you need to move around. And your starting point would be an area or city that has an international airport, which makes a lot of sense. Why? You may be having emergency flight going back home, probably for medical reason, whatsoever reason is that, and that will actually give you a good mobility for you to book a flight, go to that particular airport, and then fly out of the country, which is good. Now, let's talk about for those actually foreigner are actually married to a Filipina. So you have the privilege to file or to apply for a spousal visa. Now, you will have an option. Let's just say, for example, you are situated now in Davao, Iloilo, or Cebu. Those three areas have district offices of the Bureau of Immigration. Those district offices will accept 13A applications. They may accept 13A applications, but the final approval will be in the main office in the Bureau of Immigration located in Metro Manila, specifically in the Intramuros area. Now, upon acceptance of those district offices, they will actually screen out your qualification, and once it's accepted, it will be routed for it to be initially approved for endorsement for the alien control officer, which is the head of that particular district office. Now, let's just say, for example, you file it in Davao. So take a look at Metro Manila is here and Davao is here. If you're going to take a look at the map, consider the logistics time. Now, when you file it directly in Manila, then the processing will be shorter. The only downside is if you file it in Manila, you will be required to go to Manila probably once or twice, depending on the changes of the rules of the Bureau of Immigration. Once or twice because one, you need to have the capturing in which the other district offices they turn that biometrics. That will be the time that you actually go with your fingerprint signature for you to have a record in the Bureau of Immigration. Now that may be a downside, but it will save you a lot of time because you will never know when you are needed to fly out and what if you are in the middle of applying for a visa. Now, filing it in the Manila office could have your application approved between 2 to 3 months. Filing it on the district offices will actually take you between 4 to 6 months, depending on how fast they actually have evaluated your requirements, how fast they endorse it. Don't get me wrong, I'm just actually trying to give you the process so that you will have your further understanding on how they actually do things. Because right after, if right after the main office will be receiving it from the district offices, now they will also be routing that one to the different departments in the main office before it will be handed over for approval in the office of the commissioner or the commissioner itself to have your visa application approved. Now, after that, they will actually send again a notice sending the copy of the approved order to the different district offices. And those district offices has also procedures that you need to follow. So that explains the length of the time of the difference between two because there might be misconception along the way. I often heard this, or most of the time I heard, okay, JR, why is it that the Philippines processing is very slow? As what, and I will answer that with one of the answer also with the father. Hey, dude, you come here not to make things fast. Take it slow.
Huh?
Because you're not here to actually make you're here to retire and to live your life. I think you already work enough already from your country of origin. That could be one of the reason why you are here in the Philippines, moving around, wanted to find your inner peace, and whichever whichever area are you in, we'll be happy to see you. So those are probably the general information that I can share to you as of that time. And if you have some questions along the way, please feel free to comment on Rod's channel, and probably we can actually make that as a starting discussion on our next video. So I think that would be for now. That would be for the side of the general information, and if probably Rod said have some points of view, then probably we can also discuss that.
Yeah, like I pointed out, I met you what 4 years ago, something like that. One of my subscribers says you need to meet JR. He's really helped me get through one of my visa issues. I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, I've seen you. You take people down to the NBI and to the medical and get stuff done in half a day. What other people, other subscribers I met and had lunch with, and they tell me, yeah, I did it myself. It took me like 4 days to do what you guys can do in half a day, basically. And like I mentioned before, I can do some work on my car. I can do some electrical work. I can do some plumbing work. But I would rather pay somebody that's an expert, knows how to do it, just like immigration. I did my own extensions for a couple of years. Uh, but I've seen some people get rejected, never be told why. Um, and I've seen people struggle and get upset and start arguing with the people. And you guys, English is your second language. I really applaud the people at immigration. They're dealing with thousands of people from hundreds of different countries with different accents. And I've seen people go up and ask questions, and they give them a direct answer, but they don't understand. And then they go out frustrated. You need this and this and that, but they still don't understand what they need. So you guys, yeah, you guys know the system, you know the language, they know you. They know you. They know how you work, and you can expedite things generally.
Yeah.
So I've seen you solve a lot of issues with a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and from extensions even on up through the marriage visas, the SRRV, the retirement visas, job visas. So, but I get questions occasionally about job visas.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult is it to get the job visa here?
Okay, I think for the job visa is more or less we're referring to the working visa. So 9G working visa.
Yeah.
So the visa in itself is a context of a foreigner really being hired by the locally registered company in the Philippines for the reason that that company cannot actually find an equivalent of any skill that that foreign national have that any Filipino don't have. So that is one of the major requirements. But it's not that difficult as long as the company here is duly registered and they were able to follow the regulations. Because first, prior to application of that visa, then they need to apply for the AAP. So that's the Alien Employment Permit from the Labor Department, or what we call here Department of Labor and Employment, DOLE. Now, after the AAP will be issued, approved and issued, then that will be the time to commence for the processing of the 9G working visa. So same thing. It's either you file it in the district offices or you file it directly in Manila. So two things. It's not that difficult. It's just like there is a certain requirement from the Philippine government, especially for the labor department, that I had mentioned earlier, that needs to be in place. Like capitalization per se is one the requirement. I think that's the if I recall it correctly, that would be it. The paid up capital of the corporation will be at least around 200,000 US. And if it will be the company or the petitioner company would be a single proprietorship, then the Department of Labor will be requiring another certificate from the DOJ, which is an authority to employ alien. So there are also different sets of qualifications, like what industries are allowed to do this and that, mainly to safeguard the interests of the Filipino workers. Because I think this also relates to um one of the common questions that I get there. I already have the visa, but why is it the Philippine government cannot actually allow foreigners to own land? Which the basic mandate of the Constitution is to protect the welfare of the people, in which the people is the basically comprising of the government of the Philippines. Now, if the government or the Constitution itself allow a foreigner, there might be a big possibility that the Philippines will be buy out. And majority of the lands will be owned by foreigners right now. So those are the main contexts because um, we have working visas right now, but we make sure that they actually follow the regulatory requirements set forth by those government agencies so that they will be securing their visas appropriately. Because the, I think it's also common that there will be comments on your Facebook and not Facebook, YouTube channel once you make a video that I have done this and that. Mind you, there are a lot of ways to do things, but putting it in the proper way will give you a peace of mind and assurance that you're doing it rightfully, which will be totally different because there might be a risk involved to that. And that is what we also discuss with our clients, or we give also to our clients every time they ask, because they will challenge it. There, I have done this. Why is it that you're asking me this? No, this is for your interest. We're protecting that because we want to make sure that everything is in order for you. Because in the event that will be government agencies that will be taking a look at your credentials, you're free to put it on the table. Okay, check it. Otherwise, you might be caught off guard. Okay, why is it that you are done this? Why is it that you have this? Where in fact you're not allowed to get this. Those are common.
And getting back to your Manila office, so you, with your many offices, you can, let me see if I got this right. You could have somebody come into your office here in Cebu City close across from ILM Mall. And you could help them with the paperwork, and you could send it to your Manila office and process it in Manila.
Yes.
Get things done in 2 months, 3 months.
Yes.
Instead of 4 to 6 months.
Yes.
Because you have an office there.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
You got it correctly. And also, don't worry. Manila will be chaotic, but we will not actually hold you for long there. As long as there will be no offline, and we'll be instructing once we've actually filed it, because we are representing our clients or the foreigners itself in dealing with the government agencies such as Bureau of Immigration. Once we actually filed it, we'll be giving you schedules on the biometrics, and you will not be left behind. We make sure that there will be someone who will be assisting in the Bureau of Immigration, because the Bureau of Immigration in Manila is one big building comprising of 4 stories. So there will be someone that will be assisting you there
From JRC.
from JRC.
Right, right.
And also on the side, we are also trying to build up again our real estate unit. So for those foreigners who are actually have rental properties, if you can list it in, or you have properties up for sale, we can actually put a picture of that in our offices, and probably, who knows, there might be people who will, hey JR, I'm interested in this, can you show me this? Because that property may be eligible for the withdrawal of the visa deposit when we're talking about the retirement visa. So there are things, there are a lot of things going on. So we just need to focus on that matter for the time being, so that we can actually um, enhance our services to make it better for us also.
Yeah, you are a real estate broker.
Yeah.
You are a real estate broker and an appraiser.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah, sure.
So, all right. But you've got a great mix of, and you've got 2 lawyers on staff, an accountant.
Yeah.
So if anybody needs advice on business consulting, setting up business,
Yeah.
Going through all the requirements and that type of thing, and ongoing type consulting as well.
Yeah.
All right.
So the end objective is really to give them a guidance, probably not an advice, because we will not be an expert of all the things right now, but a good advice from someone who are actually doing it. So like, we've been doing the visa services for quite some time now, and also it's also one of our objectives, really to get near you. Not just probably this video will go around the world, but once you're in the Philippines, it will be another story. Like, convenience makes a lot for me. I know there are still people who would, JR, I can do it. No worries, feel free. But if you need some assistance, then let me know. I myself is a believer of that yes, I can try once. And I'll assess things if, okay, is it worth my time? If it's not, I'll just pay someone. Right now, we're in the process of applying for a visa right now, going out of the country, and this is our second trip. But at the end of the day, my wife and I just decided, okay, you just pay this guys, have them process. We know how to process it. But in the Philippine setup, it's just like, when you go there, you're gonna take an appointment. When you go there, okay, there's no more slot available. When you go there, okay, just come back the next day or next week. You may not be spending money, but take a look at the time that you actually spent going there, the effort and everything. So that's forming part of sharing my personal experience also, and that also confirms with one of our clients who actually go to us again. We are the one helping him for the probationary, the spousal visa. He tried doing it on his own, and eventually coming back to us, JR, I need help because I have an upcoming flight, and we could have given options for, hey, why not find it in Manila, because it will be faster, and then we will guide you along the way.
Okay.
So those circumstances might be occurring on the process, but feel free. I would also encourage you to try it on your own, because that's also one way of immersing yourself.
Learning the hard way.
Yeah, learning the hard way. And yeah, it would be a welcome, and we would like to hear your stories about it. And if like, just to share also, to expound a little bit, There is one instance of one of question from a foreigner who had been offered the property in one of the developer in Sinwen. It was payable of the certain amount. I think that's less than $300 a month for 48 months. That's 4 years. And he actually showed it to me. Jay, I'm just curious, why is it so cheap? When I take a look at it, that's actually when I saw it, it's actually a down payment. So that particular more or less $300 is just a down payment for the next 4 years. And then for the next 4 years, on the 49th month, they will be required to pay the entire amount. It's either by cash or by financing. And the amount would be roughly around 200,000 US. So that's way a lot. So it's one way also of understanding on the real estate side, because you have proof already living life for certain years. You have done your professions. The others have done their businesses so well. But typically, this is a different culture here. So that's why we exist.
I've heard those stories too. I've had a couple people comment and email me. I offered this property for such and such, this really low amount. And yeah, they don't understand.
Mhm.
A year, 18 months from now, there's a balloon payment.
Yes.
If you don't come up with all that extra money,
Sure.
the full amount, they're going to repossess the property.
Yes.
So all the money you spent
So true.
is down the
True,
drain.
true. And that is valid. That is
Yeah.
really valid. It broke my heart when I see those situations coming to our foreign friends, because they have been expecting a lot here in the Philippines, and probably they want to live a life here, and also asking if they can actually take a loan in a bank. Yes, they can, but not all banks is offering that. One of the major requirements right now for the bank is a permanent residency card, ACRI card. Now, I know there will be people will be commenting on this. Okay, JR, I have my ACRI card, but the ACRI card comes in several colors, comes in several forms. So each color represent on what kind of visa. I think most commonly that is being obtained by foreigners right now coming into the country is the ACRI card, which is colored gray. That that is for the tourist visa. So once you have a blue, you have a 9G working visa. Once you have the gold, it's either 13A or quota visa. Once you have the red, that is a voluntary ACRI card for those who are actually issued with the balikbayan visa. Because sometimes they actually come to our office. I just need an ACRI card because I'm opening a bank account. And forming part also of one of our meet and greet, which is a good avenue to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually shared the common goal is really like to bond and also to check on what is the general consensus right now for the foreigners who have been here in the Philippines. We may not be um, topping everyone yet, but at least a small group will be a good start. And he said, okay, you are opening a bank account, ACRI card for tourists. That may work before, but now that is a general mandate of the Bangko Sentral of Pilipinas for all banks to accept an ACRI card, which is a permanent ACR. So tourists might not be applicable right now, but then again, we are now anticipating that there will be comments, hey, I have opened my bank account using it just now, which is good, okay. But I'll be sharing to you, my sister, who happened to work on one of the major banks in the Philippines, and they have a mandate from the central bank to start calling those foreigners who have submitted the ACRI card. And when I talk to managers right now, not all bank managers or bank personnel know what are the what are the types of the ACRI card.
No.
And some of the banks don't even know the card of the Philippine Retirement Authority or the SRRE. They're gonna end up calling JR. They're not accepting it. Let me talk to the manager. But then again, those are realities that we have encountered, and there will be a lot of encounters of the foreigners. So at the end of the day, Rod, a good buddy of mine is Rod, agreed to have the general information being relayed out to you, and hopefully it will be of best value for you, especially those information.
Well, that's it. When I first came here, started doing videos, 2015, 2016, I went to immigration. I did a video. This is how it's done in the Philippines, and people commented, "No, I live in Manila. We do it different here. I live in Iloilo. We do it different. We no in Dumaguete. And in fact, some places, you had to wear a nice shirt, and you couldn't wear sandals or shorts.
True.
They wouldn't let you in the building.
True.
And so I come to understand. Depends on the region you're in, the town you're in. The rules can change. Same thing with banks.
Mhm.
If you're in the province, they might be more lenient. They might
True.
open up a bank account.
True.
But yeah, just because somebody did something here doesn't mean you can do the same thing over here.
It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
What you can do in other places. That's true.
Yeah, different attitude. So if you have questions, put them in the comment section. You can email and get in touch with JRC. They've got a Facebook account, a website, and email, several ways to get in touch with them.
True.
When you ask me legal questions, I say, call JRC. They're the experts.
I think Rod can also answer a few visa questions.
A few, but I don't want to step out too far.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, like I said, you guys deal with these guys all the time, and you see what works, you see what doesn't work, you see where people get in trouble trying to do things,
Mhm.
all that type of thing. And I've been approached by fixers. I'm well aware of fixers and what they do. And you can pay somebody a lot of money and end up with a fake driver's license that eventually you'll probably get caught with.
True.
A fake extension on your visa.
Mhm.
Different types of things. So best to do it the legal way with
Sure.
professional help.
True. And also, I would like to add something that the driver's license and the visa are a privilege given to the foreign national who obtained that from the Philippine government. So remember, it would be a privilege then, because I heard that I'm already a Filipino citizen. No, that's a visa that is forming part of the privilege, and that can be recalled or cancelled anytime.
Yeah.
Especially if there will be circumstances which is beyond, or you have violated any laws.
Yeah.
So just make it peaceful. Come on. So you've been here, and that's what I have mentioned always when I meet foreigners here. Welcome home, because if you want to really live the rest of your life here, it would be a good place for you to live.
Well, another question.
Sure.
While we're at it,
Yeah.
I occasionally get questions about guys say, "Can I become a Philippine citizen?" And I will say one thing. There was a very famous, very popular vlogger,
Mhm.
YouTube vlogger. I mean, millions of views, and
Sure.
that they made him they're in the process of making him a Filipino citizen, dual citizenship or something like that.
Mhm.
And but normally, my understanding is I can't walk in and just become a Philippine citizen.
No.
Can you in 10 years if you live here?
There are special qualifications of that, what do you call that, Filipino citizenship to be acquired or applied by foreign national. It entails special qualification, like probably one that I saw that bloggers. He knows how to speak the language.
Ah.
That's, I think, one of the qualification, and it should be sponsored by a Congress, someone from Congress. So it will start from the lower house, and then will be approved by the upper house also. So technically, it will not be an easy way, because on the standpoint right now, other countries are actually like giving citizenship, such as I think Canada is also doing that also. I think the US is also open for that. But on the context right now, I think that it would be a good starting point to analyze that the Philippines has still enough manpower to run the country or to cultivate the country. And probably that would be one of the reasons right now that the company, not the company, but the Philippine government is not yet open for offering citizenship to foreign national to have that in place.
Mhm. Okay. Good. Yeah. And I mean, maybe it's possible, but not
It is.
not likely.
Yeah, it is possible, but it would be not that frequent, because it entails a lot of requirements or qualification. It's just like passing a law
Okay.
here. So there will be someone who will sponsor the bill, lobby that in Congress.
Yeah.
It will be deliberated from the lower and upper house, and then eventually it will be approved by the president.
Yeah, and things evolve.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen next year or the year after that. You know, if there are laws in Congress, you know, that many people are aware of about changing some of the immigration classifications, but it's not. There's no new information on that either at this point in time.
Still in the progress of, I think, deliberation for the bicameral deliberation, because if it already passed with the lower house, per giving talking to our lawyer here, giving me an insight on how will be a law to be passed. Now, if it passed to the lower house, it's technically what we term here a Congress, and it will be forwarded to the Senate, and it may not be this exactly the same bill that is being passed. There could be revisions along the way. And the lower, or the Congress itself, which comprise the lower and the upper house, will be doing a bicameral conference for that, for it to have been finalized before it will be forwarded to the president. And then the president will be the final signatory of that, and then thereafter publication. And then before that, there will be the implementing rules and regulations. So for those who actually like to mention of that new immigration modernization act, I think it will not be it will not it will be best not to speculate any provisions of that bill,
Right.
because that may be changed along the way, and it would be best for your subscribers or to all foreign friends out there to put it on hold. What is the existing one? Sorry. So to put it on hold, and what is the existing one will be the status quo for now. You don't need to worry for tomorrow. I get you. You wanted to know what will be happening tomorrow because you want to plan ahead. But then again, it will take some time.
All right.
Eventually, we'll be sharing to you if we do have some news out of it. But for now, it's too early to speculate.
Right. Okay. Very good. I think we'll probably end it there. So thank you very much, JR.
Thank you so much, Rod, and it's good to see you. And then again, I always share this talk to almost all of my clients that there's still a lot of reasons to be happy to live in the Philippines, and it will be welcome.
Oh yeah, great place.
It is.
Yeah, I love it.
We may not be as what you've expected, but eventually, if you compare to other countries, there might be a reason why you're here. And with that being said, I would like to thank you, and we'll be looking forward, if you have questions, to email us, to comment on Rod's channel, so that we can actually get back to you.
Okay.
And we'll be seeing you on our next video.
All right. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.